Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. We'll give it a few minutes for people to join and we'll get started. We were away for a week, so we're glad to be back. All right, my machine's a little slow today. There we go. Hey, Mike. Yes, I'm back. We were away in Nashville last week. And we went to Nashville because the Glock store had their open house and just thought it'd be a lot of fun to go to. And let me tell you, it was out of control. I wanted to do a live stream at the Glock store, but it was so crowded that all you would have saw was people. Hey, Duke, welcome, brother. It's an awesome experience. If you've never been there, I would highly recommend, if you go to Nashville, you got to go to the Glock store. It's just an incredible place. There were thousands of people there. Hey, Gundogan. They gave away $50,000 worth of prizes. All I won was a box of 9mm ammo. But they did have Glock frames. They gave 50 of those away. They were giving out suppressors and red dots. And they had a lot of custom Glock builds, mostly custom parts for your own builds, triggers, etc. Now, I know I've said many times that I was not a fan of Kimber, and I had a bad experience a couple of years ago with the Kimber Custom 2, and I was very reluctant to ever get another one. I got rid of that and got my Colt government model. But as you all know, I purchased a Kimber Custom lightweight, which is aluminum instead of steel. And I changed my view of Kimber. I absolutely love that gun. It is extremely accurate. We took a bunch of guns with us on our trip, and my wife and I did shoot at a gun range. And I got to tell you, that Kimber Custom lightweight, I shot about 300 rounds through it, and I only had one misfire, and that was not the Kimber's fault. And I'm 100% sure that it was the Winchester white box ammo. And the reason I know it wasn't the Kimber is because I even had problems with that ammo feeding on Glocks. And my Glocks eat everything. So I got to tell you, I was a little concerned that being it was lightweight because it's made out of aluminum, it's got an aluminum frame, that it would have more recoil, but I didn't notice any more recoil with that than any of my other 1911s, and it is extremely accurate. At 300 rounds, I hit that steel plate every single freaking time. And I shit you not, that thing out of the box is just a pleasure to shoot. It really is. Um, I mean, the 1911s already have the best out of the box trigger. Um, and I liked it so much that I may start carrying 1911s again. Um, 1911s are awesome guns to carry um, for good reason. And I'm not so concerned about the capacity. Um, I do like the steel frame. And after spending the weekend shooting that Kimber, really kind of made me not like the polymer frames again. And that single action trigger on a 1911 is just fantastic. Um, as long as you keep them clean and wet, they're very reliable. Um, Another nice thing about the 1911 is that they come in a variety of calibers. I mean, they're available in 22 caliber, 9 millimeter, 45 ACP, and 38 Super. And they're just great shooting guns. To answer your question, Kevin, um, I can't answer that because I don't own one. The only Kimber that I own is the one that I just bought, the custom lightweight. And thank you for that there, Crazy Ape. I appreciate it. But I can tell you though, Kevin, I did change my opinion of Kimber, and I was wrong. And maybe, like I said, when I originally purchased the Custom 2 a few years ago, maybe if I would have tried, um, different magazines like Chip McCormick or Wilson Combat, um, it would have solved the problem. But I could tell you, and hello there, Crazy Ape, thank you for joining. But I can tell you that this Kimber Custom lightweight is extremely reliable. And I did not even use my Wilson Combat magazines. I used the standard Kimber magazine because I wanted to see if I had the same problem. And it was extremely pleasant to shoot. And I see we have some liberals again that just came out of their parents' basements. And they probably missed us too, because we were gone Wednesday and Saturday. I agree, Kevin. Wilson Combat makes awesome 1911s, but 3,500 bucks, a little out of my price range. Yeah, go on, Duke. Yeah, I was watching that shit at Delaney Hall in Newark, where the paid Democratic protesters were threatening to light ICE vehicles on fire, and they were throwing shit at ICE officers and horses, and the stupid governor and the mayor of Newark ordered the Newark Police Department to stand down, and they weren't allowed to help the ICE officers. So, I don't know. They're going to have to do something about that governor there in New Jersey, because she's worse than McGreevy. ICE is awesome. And I just don't understand how, that the dumbass governor of New Jersey banned ICE from wearing masks, and they're still wearing them, and they should. But, since when does a governor have more power than the president of the United States? But anyway, exactly. That's exactly the problem. That's also why the Democratic states have no bail, and they allow these prisoners in and out of jail so that they can vote. Sorry, I'm trying to read through the comments here. Yeah, that's true. There's that Grissom Newsom does think he's got more power than anybody. But I've been looking at some of the proposals now that they're trying to make in the ATF. And one of them is on the ATF form when you purchase a firearm to get rid of the non binary. And another proposal is to allow you to purchase a firearm online as long as it's in the same state without having to go through an FFL and have it shipped right to your door. So that would be really cool. Well, that's fine if you're Mexican. We don't have anything against Mexicans. What we have is we have a problem with people that are in the country illegally. So there's a big difference. I mean, we live in East Tennessee and we have a huge Mexican population here. And if you're here legally, we don't care. Nobody ever said we didn't want foreigners here. We just want them to go through the right process. That's all. I mean, coming in the country illegally makes you a criminal because you're here illegally. Just follow the procedure. I got 2 more weapon lights that were sent to me to review. I did one a week ago, and I'll probably be giving one of those away in the next week or so. You know, hey, dude Lebowski, hello. Thank you for joining. It's funny that we didn't do the stream last Wednesday or Saturday because we were in Nashville. We went to the Glock store open house. And it's amazing that we just got back and all the liberals came out of mommy and daddy's basement to find us today. So kudos to you guys. Thanks for coming back. We appreciate that. Duke, I'm still on the fence about the Ruger 1022 250th anniversary. Hey, Dale, thanks for joining, brother. We are back. Hey, Duke, did you ever get the Glock 20? Yeah, I'm sorry. So, yeah, I was saying, Duke, if I am going to get one, I would get the 250th anniversary one. However, if you don't want it, Duke, you can always send it my way. I'll be happy to do a test on it. AG, thanks for joining. Good evening to you. So, Duke, did you ever get that Glock 20 of yours? One thing that they have at the Glock store in Nashville, which is really cool. It is a hey Randall, thanks for joining, brother. One thing that they have at the Glock store is the range that is really really cool. It's called Shoot 270, and at that range, there are no lanes or ports. It's basically a room that gives you 270-degree worth of shooting, so you could shoot pretty much in front of you and sideways and pretty much anywhere except behind you. It's $100 an hour, um, but you do get the room to yourself for an hour. Um, I did not try it because um, we went there to go to the open house, and I did not want to cart my handguns uh, through that place. And like I said, I was gonna try to do a live stream there, but there were literally thousands of people there. Um, the room where you walked in to get the free swag, I waited online about an hour, and then I bought two. Um, I bought two T-shirts, and I waited online about 40 minutes. So it really was out of control. There were a lot of people there. And they had a lot of Gucci Glocks because they do a lot of custom builds. Uh, Surprisingly, Duke, the food in Nashville is good, but surprisingly, even though they advertised they were having vendors, I don't know what happened. None of the food vendors showed up except for an ice cream truck. And he gave our boy Dallas a free pup cup. But so they had no food at that event. I think they had the ice cream guy and they had some barbecue truck, but that was it. Um, but yeah, some of those Gucci Glocks were really cool, very impressive Cerakoting work. Um, they had a whole section just for triggers, um, a whole section just for grip modules, um, a whole section just for red dots. I mean, they got a lot of shit there. Um, and they have their Glock, I believe it's 43X frames. Hey, there's Jib Jab. How you doing there, brother? Yes, they had FRT triggers there. They had ramjets. They had anything you could think of for building your own custom Glock, um, they had it. Um, it was an experience, but honestly, I don't know if I would do it again because um, there were so many people there that I didn't even get to see the stuff that I wanted to see. Glad all's well there, Jib Jab. Missed you the past couple sessions. They did have some Ruger RXMs there that were tricked out, but I mean, if you're going to build a Glock, they have everything you need there. I was a little disappointed because they gave away 50 of those Glock frames, and I didn't win one. The only thing I won was a box of 9mm ammo, and I need that like I need another hole in the head. But like I said, my wife and I did bring guns, and we did find a gun range to shoot at, and really makes me change my mind. I'm really thinking of going back to carrying a 1911 after shooting that new Kimber. I also did get to beat the crap out of my new Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 10mm, and I highly recommend it. The only drawback to that gun is that the stippling on that is very, very aggressive. Hey, Common Sense, welcome. All right, Randall, well, you have a blessed evening. Thanks for joining. We'll catch you again. So yeah, my only complaint about that Smith & Wesson 2.0 10mm is that the stippling is very, very aggressive. And if you're going to carry that gun inside the waistband, it will chew up your side. I carried that all weekend there, and it is a little aggressive. Maybe Talon grips, grip tape will help it, but I didn't notice it when I first got it, probably because I was so excited. But maybe, carrying it every day for a week inside the waistband, and that's just me. I just found it a little aggressive for carrying. Didn't bother my hand shooting it at the range as much, but on my side, I found it to be a little annoying. But I like it a lot. Yeah, gun dog, and unfortunately, that's the problem with owning a home. There's always something that gets in the way. And every time you think you got extra money, something comes up. So, Jib Jab, my wife and I, on the way to Nashville, we passed Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo, and I went there on a Sunday. And they're closed Sunday, but they had a huge sign outside that said moving sale. So apparently the Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo is moving back into the Smoky Mountain Knife Works building. It's a little disappointing because it was only, half an hour from my house. But I may stop in there this weekend just to see what they have. But the dreaded Karen, yeah, I was thinking of getting that performance center. The reason I went with the M&P 2.0 is because I carry all my guns, and um, I just like the 4-inch barrel is a lot more manageable. Um, and I didn't get anything there yet, Jib Jab, but I will be going there Saturday, um, just to see what they have on sale, because um, that's a lot of inventory to bring, and I know they don't have enough room at Smoky Mountain Knife Works for all of the guns that they have at the store. And I'm a little surprised that they're closing the store, because they've only been there about 2 years. And last year they just built an archery range. And it's a shame, because it's gigantic, that they're closing the building and moving back to Smoky Mountain Knife Works, where they had a small gun department downstairs, but I'm assuming they're going to expand. Yeah, good for you there, Jib Jab. And yeah, I saw that every once in a while, Smoky Mountain will get a deal. Um, and thank you, Randall. I really appreciate that, brother. Want to thank Randall for the donation. We really appreciate that. This is how we were able to uh, purchase firearms. Um, yes, any news on Ruger? Yeah, apparently it seems like Ruger and Beretta did make some kind of agreement, and they're playing nice now. And the nice thing about it was, after the Attorney General kept breaking Ruger's balls, um, threatening to sue them if they didn't discontinue the RXM, Ruger decided to move to North Carolina. And good for them. And, unfortunately, um, people are going to lose jobs, but maybe these liberal states, I guess they don't care that people are losing jobs. And hello there, Mark. Thank you for joining. We have a bunch of new people on today. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate that. Also, we have some of our subscribers decide to help us out, and they joined our channel and became members. Every little bit helps. People purchase stickers, etc., and that's what we use to purchase new firearms and accessories, because we are a small growing channel. So I want to thank everyone who's helped us out. But anyway, there, Jib Jab, after shooting that Kimber, I'm really thinking about going back to carrying the 1911. No, I don't think that's actually the case, Jib Jab. I think what Beretta wanted to do was have Ruger sell most of the revolvers, and sell the Beretta firearms. But they did the numbers, and the Ruger RXM is making money, so it doesn't look like they're going to be discontinuing the RXM anytime soon. But Beretta does have a plant here in Tennessee now. But you know what? They should all do what Ruger and Beretta did. And Henry left New Jersey. They moved to Tennessee. Smith & Wesson moved to Tennessee. Kimber moved to Alabama. I mean, all these gun manufacturers that are in these communist liberal states should just move. I don't know where in North Carolina they moved to, Duke. Good for you for being a liberal Democrat. Your parents must be proud of you. Um, but apparently, Duke, um, Ruger has owned that facility for like 10 years. So they moved their corporate headquarters there to North Carolina. Um, they all just need to move out of the States. Good for him. We don't have a problem with liberal Democrats as long as they're not trying to take our guns away. And by the way, that actually is an oxymoron, right? I mean, a liberal Democrat is like, a salted saltine. It's just, anyway. So, like I was saying earlier, Duke, I digressed again. Um, I'm still on the fence about the Ruger 1022 250th anniversary. But maybe I'll see if they have them on sale at Smoky Mountain. And I agree with you, Jonathan. Liberals all claim that guns kill, except for when they're shooting our president. And they're always calling for gun control, but when they shoot at our president, all of a sudden you hear crickets. Not one word about gun control. It's kind of ironic, don't you think? The one I'm talking about, Duke, I saw it on Grab a Gun, and what it says is that it's got 250th anniversary stamped on the barrel. That's a great question, Jib Jab. I do not own any 1911s that are optic ready, but that is going to change, and I will put an optic on it when I get one. Yep, Jonathan, I got to tell you, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I don't know everything. I'm not always right, and I was wrong about the Kimber. I really enjoy my new Kimber custom lightweight. It's extremely accurate, and I'm probably going to go back to carrying a 1911 again. So anyway, Jib Jab, I was looking at the Desert Eagle, the Magnum Research Desert Eagle 45 ACP is optic ready. And I also saw, it may have been the Springfield Garrison that actually comes with a optic. So the next 1911 that I do buy will be optic ready, and I will carry it with a red dot. 1911s are awesome. They're great guns to carry. And because they're single stack, they're extremely narrow, which is why they don't print. I could carry any of my, full-size 5-inch barrel 1911s, and they can sail much better than my little Glock 30. So, yep, I agree with you, Jib Jab. The Kimbers look really nice. However, I'm thinking of getting a 4.25-inch barrel only because the 1911s are heavy. And maybe I'll go with 4.5, or 4.25. Sorry. Um, the Magnum Research one is 4.33. But like I said, the 1911s, they conceal much better than the Glocks do. And um, I got to tell you, when we ride the motorcycle, I've been carrying my 1911, and it is extremely comfortable. I could carry my 1911 while I ride the bike all day long, and I don't even know it's there. Um, and being that I have 5 1911s, I think I'm going to start carrying them again. They're awesome gun to carry. They're extremely accurate. Now, what I'm just curious, what did all y'all liberals do while we were gone for a week? Um, yes, Mark. To answer your question, I have not only have I used their ammo, um, I've also used their primers. I believe they're made in Canada, and their ammos are good and their primers are great. However, I don't see much of their ammo out here in Tennessee anyway. Um, they are opening an academy um, a few miles from here, so that'll be opening soon. Wow, these liberals today, they're just not stopping. Thank God I have my moderators, because um, I just don't get it. I mean, they're probably, whacking off in their parents' basements. Uh, Go on, Jib Jab. Uh, no, but I do. I do actually practice drawing from the bike, just like I practice drawing from the car. A lot of people don't do that. That's part of my dry fire training. Um, well, see, this is what the liberals do. They promote violence. They have paid agitators. So, but we do have our moderators here that throw them back in their parents' basements. So, that's a good question. I don't know how much the uh, paid agitators get paid, but it's a lot. And if you notice, see, this is the thing. The liberals are a bunch of retards and they don't have jobs. So that's why they can attend all of these stupid rallies, right? I mean, Republicans don't have them because we all got to go to work. You know what it is, Jib Jab? This is how they get their rocks off. Um, they think that they're hurting us, but they're really not, because uh, we just kick them off. And we have great moderators here and could always use some more. But yeah, so the liberals have these things every day. And think about it. Who can attend rallies every freaking day if you got to go to work? And but they're paid agitators. And again, I apologize. The messages scroll by so fast, I have a hard time reading the comments. So if I failed to acknowledge your comment or I didn't acknowledge you, sorry about that. I apologize. Comments just scroll by very quickly and I can't get to them. You know, the funny thing about it is, how do all of these freaking liberals even find our channel? I mean, it's amazing when you think about it. It is a gun channel. So all these liberal trolls that live in their parents' basements, they find our channel. I'm actually impressed. Because normally they sit in their parents' basements and they whack off until my stream is on. So I take that as a compliment. Yeah, I'm sure somebody's sending them here. Hey, AK Guru. Thanks for joining, brother. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. You're welcome. Always good to see our part of the core of our group coming back. So they did give away a bunch of suppressors at the open house. Hey, Jonathan, how you doing there, brother? I'm telling you, Jib Jab, I got a thing now, for 1911s. I don't think I will. I don't think I will ever buy another polymer frame striker-fired pistol again. 1911s are just so freaking awesome. I really think I'm going to go back to carrying a 1911. I'll have to get another 10 millimeter, another 1911 and 10 millimeter. TSUS has a decent one. I have to look at the Magnum research. And the problem I have, as soon as I get, you know what, Mike, I'm not a fan of the 2011. I'm sorry, but, to me, they're sacrilegious. Hey, Dave, good evening, brother. Well, good for you there, Jonathan. And good luck with that. James, no, 1911. You guys probably heard me say a lot of times, but the XD series is not Springfield's best work. I own a lot of Springfields. I will never own an XD series. I had one of them, and I got rid of it. It's very cheesy looking. AK Guru. So it's more than 3 states. California started. Then Connecticut started the Glock ban. Then New Jersey jumped on the bandwagon, and now Illinois jumped on the bandwagon. Hey, Brookside, thanks for joining, brother. Hope you're doing well. You know what, James? That's an easy decision. Like I've said many times, I used to always recommend a Glock 19. Now, just go buy the Ruger RXM. They probably banned that in California too because it is built on the Glock Gen 3 technology. But if it were me, I would just go with a 1911. I'm glad that worked for you, Nate. Like I said, I own a lot of Springfields, and XD is just not their best gun. I'm sorry. I mean, get your panties in a bunch, but compared to the Hellcat and the Emissary and the Echelon, the XD series is just not their best. You know, so they're going after Glock, right? Well, you know what, Nate? As long as that works for you, you could have gotten a much better 40 caliber gun for $650 than the XD. But as long as that works for you, that's fine. But anyway, they're going after Glock because more people in the entire world own Glocks than any other gun, right? It's just like when they write computer viruses, right? They write them for Windows machines because more people own Windows machines than Macs. So if you're going to write a virus, you're going to write a virus that's going to do the most amount of damage on the most amount of machines, and that would be Windows machines. Well, it's the same thing. They go after Glock first, and it's not going to stop there. And then they'll go after another company and another company. And that's another reason why the 1911 is awesome. It's 7 rounds. So no matter what state you're in, even in New York State, New York has a 7-round capacity. You don't have to worry about violating magazine restriction laws with a 1911, no matter what state you go to. I'm still having a hard time. I mean, they're blatantly going after Glock. That's for sure. I just don't understand why they're doing it because it's control, right? I'll get right to you, James. The Glock switches are already illegal on a federal ban, right? So to go after Glock because of the Glock switches, they're already on the Gen 6 now that redesigned the transfer bar. So anyway, to answer your question, James, I don't have a problem with a Kimber 1911 chambered in 9mm. It's just, I'm old school. To me, a 1911 is 45 ACP. Even though they're available in 22 caliber and 10mm, which I would definitely get, 9mm and 38 Super. To me, when I hear 1911, my brain says 45 ACP. To answer your question there, Brookside Farm, no, I do not mess with that. And Brookside Farm, let me tell you, if you like the 1911, there's nothing like a 10 millimeter 1911. I have the Springfield Ronin in 10 millimeter, and that is the shit. Yeah, well, that's because Illinois has got a jackass for a governor. Um, Unfortunately, the guy's a billionaire. Um, like I said, he's already trying to require ammunition in Illinois to have every case individually serialized and then registered with the state police. Um, that lunatic in Virginia, I thank God that there's sheriffs out there that said that they're not going to enforce her unconstitutional gun laws, because the new gun law in Virginia is that um, you cannot carry a AR-15 on government-owned property, which includes streets and sidewalks. So I guess you can keep it in your house, but that's about it. Um, Brookside Farm. Dan Wesson makes a very good one. I like my Colt. Um, Springfield makes a couple really nice ones. The Garrison is nice. The um, Ronin is nice. I have the Emissary. That's awesome. And TSUS also makes a really good quality 10 millimeter 1911. But like I said, don't get me wrong. I own a lot of polymer frame striker fire pistols, a lot of them. But after carrying the 1911 for a week, I'm really starting to not like the polymer frame striker fire pistols. I can tell you one thing is that when you shoot a 1911, the that single action trigger on the 1911 is the best trigger in the world out of the box, really. And yes, TSUS really, AKC Guru, they make very good quality products for the money. Um, you know, TSUS, I guess, is like Rock Island. Um, I haven't had a problem with a TSUS. I've had a problem with Rock Islands. Um, you know, you get where you pay for, right? I mean, it is a lower level gun. So, spend the extra $150 and go with a Springfield or a Kimber and problem solved. But anyway, the 1911 single action trigger is the best trigger in the world out of the box. And they shoot consistently. If you shoot a 1911, you'll know that that trigger is consistent every single time you pull that trigger. That is not the case with a striker fire pistol. It's a good question, Jib Jab. I'm actually looking at the Magnum Research Desert Eagle. Yes, I would say it's better than the Garrison, but it's not better than the Ronin. No, not equal. I would say the Magnum Research is better than the Garrison. Um, the Garrison is not the top tier like the um, Prodigy or the Ronin is. So if it were me, I'd go with the Magnum Research. Not that the Garrison is bad; it's a great gun. Well, that's a powerful statement there, Dave. I bought a Henry lever action 357 Magnum carbine for myself for Christmas. And, and I got to tell you, I think that's one of the best rifles in the world. That lever action is smooth as butter. Um, Super accurate with the octagonal barrel. And that's the other thing that's nice, Jib Jab, about the 1911 is that you can use grips from any manufacturer. They all use the same exact magazines. It's not like you go out and you buy 5 Glock pistols and every one of them uses a different frickin' magazine. I love when I take my 1911s to the range. I could bring 5 or 6 of them, and I only need to bring 3 mags, and I could use them in all of them. Yeah, I love that Henry 357. Um, I went with the carbine because the octagonal barrel is freaking heavy. And even though I went with the 16-inch barrel on that Henry, that barrel is, that gun weighs almost 9 pounds with a 16-inch barrel. And yes, the advantage, Duke, is that the barrel is very heavy. And my understanding is that when the bullet leaves the barrel, it has an even tighter spiral to it. Um, it's definitely not just looks, and they're heavy, so they mitigate recoil a lot better. I agree, Jib Jab. I mean, I got the Henry Big Boy 16-inch octagonal barrel in 357 Magnum. And the reason I went with the Big Boy is because it's got a brass side gate and it's got brass banding on it. It's got a gorgeous walnut stock. Um, it's just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I agree, Dave. Citadel does make good guns. I use Arms Corps ammo all the time. Um, I thought Rock Island was made by ATI. Um, but keeping in mind, they still are lower tier 1911s. Now, I've seen Rock Islands priced at $500 or $600, and if it was me, I'd spend an extra $150 and get a Springfield or a Kimber before spending almost $600 on a um, Rock Island made in the Philippines. No, there's nothing wrong with them there, Brookside. I'm just saying is that a lot of the lower priced 1911s, when you think about it, aren't really that much cheaper than getting a better quality one. Yeah, I was thinking of getting an FFL myself too. Yeah, Mark, I got to tell you that Henry, I've wanted a Henry my whole life, um, and I went with the 357 because I got a boatload of ammo for it, um, and I went with the 16-inch barrel because of 2 reasons. Number one, it's lighter, and number two, it's a better home defense gun because if you're running down the hallway, 16-inch barrel isn't going to get you hung up in the doorway. The drawback to it is that it only holds 7 rounds of 357. Um, I'm okay with that though. I mean, realistically, if you got to shoot 7 rounds of 357 inside your home, um, you got a real problem. But the Henry Big Boy, the brass gate on that is just absolutely gorgeous. The brass loop is really nice. And then it's got brass banding on it. And I do like, even though they moved to Tennessee, I do like the fact that it does say made in Bayonne, New Jersey. Brookside Farm. No, I do mess with other rifles. I'm not a big long gun fan, but I do have some. I have a bolt action Remington 308. I always wanted 308, and I always wanted a lever action. I got that brand new for like $300 on sale a while back. I do have AR-15s. I also built AR-15 pistols, and yes, Mark, you can. It holds 7 357s and 10 38 special. However, I don't shoot 38 special. I just don't see the point. Yeah, I agree with you there, Brookside. I just always wanted a 308, and I always wanted a bolt action. It came with a scope already zeroed in. Took that to a range, and first time out of the box, I rang the gong at 200 yards. It's a nice gun. I'm also seriously considering building an AR-10. I think a 308 would really be cool on an AR platform. You know what, Brookside? Everybody should build an AR-15, whether it's a rifle or a pistol, because you learn so much about the gun and how it handles by building your own. And the nice thing about building your own is that you build it to your specs, right? It's not always about being cheaper. And it doesn't matter how much money you spend on an AR-15. There's going to be something you wish was different. I built my own ARs, and I use the Palmetto State drop-in triggers that are competition triggers. And I put my homemade ARs up against any store-bought brand any day. All right, guys. Well, time flew today. Really enjoyed being back and getting together with you guys again. It is 9 o'clock, so we are going to end this stream. For the new people here, if you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications. Thank all of you who purchase super chats and memberships. I really appreciate that. Hopefully we'll accumulate enough funds soon to buy another gun review for you guys. All right. Hope you all have a great evening. Thank you all so much for joining. Hey, Carmine. Sorry it's late, brother. We will be ending the stream now, but it is good to see you. And yes, the AR platform is a great platform. And this is a great way to relax after work. All right, guys. Thank you all so much. And we will be back here Saturday at 12 noon. Thank you.